Hi, Sarah. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
Oh, I just want some sunshine, but I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you, and
Yeah,
thanks for joining us.
of course. Thanks for having me. I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so glad to declare an end to winter with you with the advent of the spring calendar and the festival and the cherry blossoms and everything else. So it's going
Well,
to be
that's
amazing.
I'm so glad that you're here to talk to us about this because the cherry blossoms. That's the first sign of spring. We know we're almost there. A lot of times they may come before winter actually ends, but it looks like they're going to try to keep up with the season this year. I understand that there are no buds yet on the trees. So what's the prediction?
So, yeah, the cherry blossoms have been hibernating all winter, just like the rest of us, but the peak bloom is going to be March 29th to April 1st. The National Park Service announced that yesterday, a little bit later than last year's, but not by a lot. And it'll coincide nicely with the Oxen Run picnic and kite fly, which, as you may know, Oxen Run has the second largest grove of cherry trees in the city, second only to the tidal basin. So that's going to be an amazingly beautiful venue for that picnic and kite fly.
I am
And
so
that'll be
glad.
March 29th.
Right. I was going to say, I'm so glad you mentioned that because that's one of the things that we have attempted to do here at the Washington Informer is to remind folks that, right, Oxen Run over here in Southeast on Ward 8, in Ward 8, a beautiful park, by the
Yeah.
way, with a lot of history itself. And now, repeat that again. It's the second, what did you just
It's
share?
the second largest grove of cherry trees in the city. So, larger than the Arboretum and fewer trees than the tidal basin, but nothing is, nothing competes with the tidal basin, as we all
Yeah.
know.
Well, those folks who, just want to avoid the tidal basin because of
Hmm.
how Washingtonians are, people come in to see the cherry blossoms and Washingtonians leave, but we want to get them to stay. And one way
Right.
to see them is just to come on over there to Oxen Run Park. So thanks. Thanks.
Exactly. And it's a great way to experience the beauty, energy, and fun of the Blossom Kite Festival, which happens on the Washington Monument grounds on March 28th, but without all the crowds of all the people enjoying the beauty, fun, and energy of the Blossom Kite Festival. So there's a lovely kite fly that happens as well at the Oxen Run Picnic. So it's
Yes.
a good way to meet needs of all the members of the community, who some of whom just don't want to be in the large crowd. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're going to create a large crowd someplace else.
yes, of course, no, it will be amazing.
Yeah. So if take us back a little bit, Sarah, about, the history of the Cherry Blossom Festival. I mean, how it got started and how many years we've been doing that here in the nation's capital.
Yeah, so it's actually had a very long history. It's DC's longest running festival. This will be the 99th year of the festival. The trees were planted in 1912, but the first festival honoring them wasn't until 1927, where they recreated that first tree planting ceremony. And then every year since, there's been something amazing. And then over the last 26 years, the National Cherry Blossom Festival as an organization has coordinated that across the city. So working with participating organizations, community partners, really spreading the joy of the cherry blossoms beyond the tidal basin and through all 8 wards of the city, so that there's Cherry Picks restaurants in all 8 wards. There are decorations in City in Bloom all over the city. Blossom Blocks is also something that's this year. So really trying to bring this joy of celebrating the cherry blossoms and this very integral part of DC's identity to every single resident and, of course, all of the visitors.
And this has sort of been our, I guess, American way of celebrating this tree that was a gift to Washington. Can you give us a little bit of that history?
Of course, yeah. The trees originally were a gift from the mayor of Tokyo to the city of Washington, D.C. It was a coordination of a number of people who worked together to bring here, including First Lady Helen Herron Taft. So they were able to coordinate this first gift of trees in 1912. And one of the beautiful parts of this story that I don't think a lot of people know is that there was an issue with the cherry trees in Tokyo a number of years after that. So some of the cuttings from the original trees that were donated here were donated back to Japan to help replant those. So it was a lovely back and forth friendship. And one of the ways that we celebrate that Japan and United States friendship is the opening ceremony, which is going to be at Dark Constitution Hall this year. So that'll be on March 21st with amazing Japanese performers and a one night only showcase, really kind of solidifying the messages of friendship and peace.
Yeah, I think, well, I know that as we talk, you're going to talk about some of the other key events that are taking place in the city during the Cherry Blossom Festival season. But it's interesting how, this whole thing evolved around a relationship with trees. We think about traditions and how this grew into this, I mean, really major event for city, for tourism, for economic growth for the city, all of that, all around a tree. You
Can you think of much better though, right? Something that's so uniting for all of us, right? Thinking about the identity of cherry blossoms and how people incorporate that in. I know that long before I worked for the festival, cherry blossoms were part of my wedding decor, right? It was on our invitation. We were inviting people to come to DC, not during cherry blossom season, but because it was such an important part of the city's identity and welcoming people to Washington. So I love the idea that there's something that unites all of us under the branches, right? That we really can come together as a community and celebrate it and find different ways to do that as well. So, but it is funny to think that, these cherry trees are not something that would have been familiar to any of the people who lived here in the 1700s and 1800s when the city was being built up. But they are part of our identity now.
and bringing people together is what the festival
Hmm.
does. And
Yes.
I'm sure over the years it has evolved into a lot of different events. We all know about the Cherry Blossom Parade, which is one of my favorites, and the kite flying event that you mentioned. But tell us a
Mhm.
little bit more about some of the other key events that are going to be happening this year.
So we have quite a few. One of them is Bloomfest at the Tidal Basin, which is our way of welcoming people who are coming to visit the cherry blossoms at the Tidal Basin. We have 100 performances on the A&A stage, and it's going to be on the south lawn of the Jefferson Memorial. So there'll be music, there'll be art, there'll be a beverage garden, food, educational activities with the National Park Service. So there's a lot of really great things there, and that's going to be over 16 days. So hopefully folks can join us there. But the one I'm also particularly excited for, just because I love fireworks, is Pedalpalooza at Navy Yard. And that's going to be on Saturday, April 4th. And it takes over about 10 city blocks all along the Capitol Riverfront, with different zones, including Cherry Blast, which is going to be a tribute to this year's official artist, Tim Yankee, and he's from Detroit. So there'll be a lot of Motown music, Detroit style pizza.
All right.
So I'm looking forward to that as well. Live music, and then it ends with the fireworks that are set to music at over the Anacostia River at 8:30 p.m. So I'm particularly excited about that one, but don't tell the other events that I have a bias.
I won't. That's our secret here on
Right.
Let's Talk. But anyway, you all do something with I'm trying to remember. It seems like sneakers where kids, can create. Can you talk a little bit about that? How that's evolved? The
Yeah, that's an amazing event. It's the Blossom Kicks for Kids with
Yeah.
Events DC. And so we had 160 kids in grades 5 to 8 who live in Washington, DC, who submitted designs for soccer cleats, and 25 are being selected to paint those designs that reflect this year's theme, the art of the game, onto a soccer cleat. And because it's a soccer cleat, we're actually doing the shoe design day at Audi Field on March 22nd. So we're really excited to see what these creative artists are bringing to reflect their theme of the art of the game, their love of soccer, their love of spring, cherry blossoms in DC, and reflecting that pride through paint. So we're excited for that.
Yeah, I mean, I keep going back to the point that you made about bringing people together because
Mhm.
everything that goes into the planning, and I have to give a shout out to Diana Mayhew, who's the
Yes.
executive director, who works like crazy. It seems all year long, putting this event together. But it starts off, it seems, with even the design of your poster and how your theme poster for the year. How do you all come up with that? I know it's a competition of sorts, but can you talk a little bit about that?
So we have the theme this year, Find Your Bloom, which is really about helping people find what they personally, connect to with the Cherry Blossom Festival, right? And cherry blossoms. And so Find Your Bloom in all of these different ways. One of the things we're also trying to do with the website is to help people make those decisions. We talked a little bit about like how some of these events are bigger and some of them are in different spaces. So finding those ones that work for you and adding all of that information so that people can make that decision, especially if you're a parent, right? With young kids, you know which kinds of events your kids are going to do well at and which ones they're not. So trying to help people with that. So there is the Find Your Bloom, and we really invite folks to do so. The other part is that we do have an official artist every year. This year it's Tim Yankee, and he created a beautiful painting called America in Bloom, really reflecting how we want everybody to come together in that way, right? And it's actually, he has song lyrics in it that include the song lyrics from Come Together by the Youngbloods. So, and he's got the Washington Monument, he's got the cherry blossoms, he's got 13 butterflies on there, which are really important to him symbolically, but that also talk about like the fleeting beauty of the cherry blossoms, but how they do bring everybody together in that. So it's an amazing opportunity to be able to see that artwork there. And it's actually also going to be on the Metro cards. The Smart Trip cards this year
Right.
have that artwork on them. So I got to see them yesterday. They're really pretty.
And this is a time, tourism is down in DC. We're having a lot of economic problems here. And so this is one of those moments where people just sort of flood into the city. And can you talk a little bit about, on average in past years? I mean, how many people do you all actually bring into Washington? Because if you, it's, like tight down by the basin, and that's a good thing. I wish we looked at those visitors and as people that are spending money and helping us with our tax base. But talk about those folks that we will welcome back here again this year.
And the city does such a great job of welcoming everybody, right? Like you come in and you, from the time you arrive at the airport or at the Union Station or driving in, you really get that feel of welcome from the people of Washington to everybody. We say each year it's about 1.6 million people who come to all of the events, between visiting the tidal basin, between going to all of our events, going to the Cherry Picks restaurants, going to the hotels. We have 1.6 million people, and it's a mix of locals and also visitors. So it's a nice mix there, but it brings about 200 million into the economy each year. So over a very short period of time. So it's really a time that the city comes to life, or blooms, as it were.
Yeah, was as a small business owner, a resident, lifelong Washingtonian. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
So
But it is truly a citywide effort. Like, so
yeah,
it's
yeah,
amazing.
definitely, definitely. So if people want to know more about, upcoming events and how they can participate, where should they go?
They should go to nationalcherryblossomfestival.org. Thank you for bringing that up, because I did mention the website and not the URL. So nationalcherryblossomfestival.org, or we are on all of the social media channels. On Instagram, we're Cherry Bloss Fest. So it's a great place to see all of the upcoming events, including next week's Pink Tie Party, and everything between that and the Sakura Matsuri Japanese Street Festival. So we have 100 events between now and April 12th. So we hope you'll join us for at least one of them.
Well, I'm not one for, like being the fashionista, but I think pink is in this year.
It
So,
is. We need it after this winter. If you saw the peak bloom, we like declared an end to winter and end
right.
to snowcrete and all of that. So yes, definitely, please do.
All right. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for being with us. Give Diana
Thank
our
you.
regards, and we hope to see you out there somewhere.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Okay.